Have you ever wondered if God truly controls everything? If he has power over every detail of your life, even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty? Today, on La Voz del Principio, we're going to explore one of the deepest and most comforting topics of the Christian faith, the sovereignty of God. And not just that, but how we can rest in his will, especially when we face difficult times. The prophet Isaiah, in chapter 46, verses 9 and 10, reminds us of something fundamental. Remember the former things, those of long ago. I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come. I say, my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. What does this tell us? That God not only knows the future, but he has planned it. Nothing escapes his control. No circumstance, no matter how difficult it may seem, is outside his sovereign gaze. He is not sitting in heaven, surprised by what happens in the world. On the contrary, he is actively working, carrying out his perfect purposes. But what does this mean for us in our daily lives? How can we apply this truth when we face loss, illness, financial crises, or broken relationships? The answer lies in trust, trusting that even if we don't understand the why of what we're going through, God does. And not only does he know, but he is using it for a greater good. Think of Joseph, the son of Jacob, sold into slavery by his brothers, falsely accused and thrown into prison. From a human perspective, everything seemed to be going wrong. But in the end, Joseph understood that God was working behind the scenes. He told his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Genesis 50:20. God wastes nothing. Not the pain, not the waiting, not the suffering. Everything has a purpose in his hands. And even if we can't always see the big picture, we can trust that he does. He is the painter, and we are part of his masterpiece. So how can we rest in God's will during difficult times? First, by remembering who he is. God is sovereign, wise, and good. Second, by surrendering our burdens to him in prayer, knowing that he listens and acts. And third, by choosing to trust, even when we don't understand. Because faith is not the absence of doubt, but the decision to believe that God is faithful despite our questions. So if you're feeling overwhelmed today, if circumstances seem out of control, remember this: God is still on the throne. Nothing escapes his hand. And if he allowed this into your life, it's because he has a purpose. Your job is not to understand everything, but to trust the one who does. Thank you for joining us on La Voz del Principio. May this message have reminded you that, in the midst of the storm, you can rest in the sovereignty of God, because he is faithful and his plans are perfect.